Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. And today we are talking all about the Big Bear. Let's go! For all my Big Bear investors out there, congratulations, because we saw a massive jump in the Big Bear today. And as many of you know, I am very bullish on the Big Bear. He is literally in my background. So we have the Feng Shui Bull and we have Mr. Big Bear right here. He's been with me all along, so we're very excited to see the massive jump we saw today, up 20%. And what's crazy about this jump is just 2 days ago, we did have the pop all the way up. And in yesterday's pre-market, we saw Big Bear reach 580 before it had that retraction, but Big Bear has already jumped all the way back up to that level. So here on screen, you could see the previous level of support that we had right around 530, and then you could see where we were at not long ago around the $4 mark. So Big Bear has exploded past so many levels of support and now is riding right along this level of resistance. So it's trying to break past this price of around $5.80. And when we zoom out and look at Big Bear on the long-term chart, we can see that a lot of momentum has been building in the short-term trend in Big Bear. So earlier in the year, we did see a top right around $10.50. And what is happening right now is very exciting because there is a possibility that we do push all the way back up to that 52-week high. We are only about 74% from that high. So there's been a lot of massive momentum building in the Big Bear recently. We could see that we were on this, or well, still are on this upwards bullish trend. We have broken past it a little bit with today's massive green candlestick. So very exciting. Currently, we are looking a bit oversold on the relative strength index and on the MACD as well. So it is getting a bit more expensive on those other indicators, but I still believe there's a lot of opportunity for Big Bear to continue to run up, especially with the thought of a Big Bear squeeze. And so with Big Bear going so much up in price, this has to put the shorts under a lot of pressure. And right now, there's a short interest all the way up to 27% in the Big Bear. This is absolutely huge because when we look at our play last month that squeezed D-Wave Quantum QBTS, D-Wave had a short interest that was similar and was actually lower. The short interest was in the 20% range. And so Big Bear having such a massive short interest, there's a lot of volume going into the Big Bear right now, a lot of investors on the Big Bear. There's a lot of potential for squeezing and higher prices with the Big Bear. So also Big Bear has gained significantly when it comes to market cap. When we originally started covering Big Bear last year, in 2024. So we started covering Big Bear around this level here. Back then, they weren't even at $1 billion market cap yet. They were slightly under that, but they have gone all the way up to $1.4 billion on the market cap. So a lot of big investors putting their money into the Big Bear, and it's because everything that Big Bear has to offer. As many of you know, Big Bear is seen by some as like the next Palantir, and with Big Bear, the next big event or catalyst that we may have is going to come in 35 days on July 31st. And so this is going to be at the end of next month. They're going to have their next earnings report, and it is projected by Wall Street that their Q2 should be better than their Q1, which is very exciting because Q1 did come in a bit disappointing, but Big Bear did state in their earnings call that some of the earnings from the government contracts that they recently have had hadn't shown up into their balance sheet yet. So weren't necessarily on Q1. So there is the possibility that Big Bear explodes with their Q2 earnings. So very exciting times. And Big Bear right now jumping massively off of no particular catalyst. So there hasn't been any news that has come out from Big Bear. There hasn't been any new contracts that have come out. Nothing like that. And overall, this is just a healthy push that is happening in the Big Bear. But if you don't know, with Big Bear, these are some of the positive catalysts. So they do have a growth growing backlog. It has increased 2.5 times from 168 million at the end of 2023 to 385 million by the end of March 2025. So a lot of growth there. And then this right here is the key reason why we are invested into BigBear and why we are so excited, because of their key government contracts. So BigBear does a lot when it comes to AI defense and working alongside the government. They are also at a lot of airports. So if you've been to any of the airports, you know all about their face scan technology. So a lot of real intrinsic value behind the BigBear. And so overall, investors just pouring more into the BigBear. And the way I have been playing BigBear is with the options market. So I've talked about this a lot on this channel, and I really want to drill this into investors' heads. If you're not investing into these options contracts, and I do the very most basic terms of using options contracts, so a very easy strategy to use, but if you're not investing in options contracts, I am telling you, you are missing out. I mean this. I really recommend, if you don't understand about options contracts, you do your due diligence, you do a lot of research, and you fully start to understand them, because there's a lot of opportunity in the options contracts market, and it just moves at such a greater pace than normal stocks. So the underlying, when it comes to options contracts, is always greater than the stocks if you're playing it the right way with close to in the money options contracts. And then there is a big momentum surge in that underlying stock. I just made a video about this not long ago, so you should see the card above me that says making 100% returns with options contracts. I seriously suggest watching that video if you don't understand options contracts. That will give you a baseline of understanding why these are so valuable and why I am so excited about them. Seriously, off camera, I think and I talk about options contracts 24/7. So I actually annoy some of the people around me because I can't stop talking about them because they are so mind-blowing. And I mean, look at this. Look at this position right here. So I've shown my options contracts before. Again, with that video, you'll see the options contracts there. But I purchased this with an average cost of 90 cents. So options are that number times 100. So 90 times 100, $90 for one options contract. Today, that options contract is worth $2.33. And today alone, this is where my mind gets absolutely blown. Today alone, a 79% return on investment, with my total return being 158%. So this is why I suggest that investors look into options contracts, because there is so much opportunity in those markets. And as you can see on this position, I have more than doubled my money. So just imagine what you could be doing if you are constantly doubling your money, which I have been since December. Seriously, options contracts can work as a money printer if you're doing it right. So I really suggest checking them out. If you want to learn more about options contracts, let me know in the comment section below. Just ask a question and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Overall, I am super bullish on the BigBear. I am very excited for what is to come. And I think leading up into their earnings next month, at the tail end of the month, we should continue to see more price movements towards the upside in BigBear. But I would be curious to hear what everyone else thinks. Again, if you're invested into BigBear, give yourself a round of applause. Congratulations. It is days like this why we invest into the stock market. Super exciting. Let's go BigBear. So please drop a comment if you're curious about options or your position on BigBear or just anything. I really love to hear from you guys. Please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. This is Trevor with Green Money Momentum, and I will see you in the next video.